Hi, I'm Lynn, and here's what's happening at Ewetopia Farms today. What if their lips are covered with hair? At our farm, these are the most fantastic things ever. Why we aren't sending them to market right away? You're a beauty, aren't you? Yes. We're selling breeding stock. Animals are so much easier to deal with. So let's get started. Arnie's just putting his grippers back on the tractor because he's going to be moving something. At the moment, I don't know what. I just came out here.
I think the next thing is a telehandler.
For sure.
Oh, I just feel like we're expanding, getting a little better, and probably in the right position to have a telehandler.
Definitely. Definitely.
Just think of that.
What do you...
Handler.
Just think of this. Don't talk.
Well, I didn't tell you that.
Talk.
I had dreams of it all night last night.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, Arnie.
Yeah, then I woke up.
That's right. Just maybe someone slapped you. What are you doing?
I was thinking this. I was all a bunch of those rotten bales for a few minutes and you're going to go back.
Sure.
Well, I'm just there cleaning up, eh?
My video this morning, whole 20 minutes, no sound.
Oh, really?
I got to do the whole thing over again.
Oh, but that really irritated the viewers.
Well, they didn't see it, Arnie. It irritated me because I have to do the whole video over again.
Well, I feel if you have to go to school, you should do the lip speaking thing. You should have courses on that. Everybody should take that. That would be no problem this morning. Everybody would have heard it.
You mean sign language?
No, read my lips.
What if their lips are covered with hair?
It's not hair, Lynn. It's a mustache.
So we're at the silos, and we have a pair of ravens that nest here every year. And they've got a nest up there now too. Most people on YouTube will tell you all the nasty things about ravens, which there are some bad things that they can do for pasture lambs, I see. However, at our farm, these are the most fantastic things ever. They go in our barns not to peck at lambs and cause trouble for us, but they remove all the placentas that we miss and eat them. They've learned to go sort through the rafters to find the pigeon nests. And if you look at our videos from 5 to 3 years ago, you'll see that we had a pigeon epidemic here until these ravens figured out that pigeons had nests with lots of eggs in them, and the pigeons eat the eggs. And now we don't have a pigeon epidemic. They're under control. We have a couple of pigeons and that's it. So we love our ravens, and they got a nest. We don't know how many eggs, but they're there.
I can climb up and check. You think they'd attack me?
Yeah, they probably would.
You want to tell you something really funny?
What?
Well, you always think you know everything, eh? And you always think you're pretty sharp and you're above average, okay? When I was a child, all the old, these two towers here, they were pretty big for the time, okay? And a lot of old farmers would drop in, and they would go like this. They said, "Whoa, that's a long climb to that crow's nest," like that. And I never understood why they would call the crow's nest. But now, when you do the history and you look around and look up, that's why they were called crow nests. The crows always took advantage of them.
Is that something you made up because we get ravens here, or is it an absolute fact that crows or ravens made nests there?
No, if you ask the old farmers, the little balcony up there where you do your controls, It's called the crow's nest.
Yeah.
And I never understood it. Where did the crow come in play? But I know why. Their crows are always making a nest on top of those saddles.
Because I think crow's nest started not with farming, but with ships, didn't it?
I don't know.
The people used to climb the masts and up to the
crow's nest too?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm not sure, but these aren't crows, but they're ravens. They're a cousin, and they are definitely where they nest every single year.
If we get a telehandler, we can call it the Ernie nest.
Yeah, because that's where you'll be living. If I'm not mistaken, I think I can actually hear babies in that nest. This morning, I did an entire video on the sheep and why we aren't sending them to market right away. And for some reason, it's happened once before, and I don't know what causes it, but the entire video had no sound. And I even had my mic on this time. So I don't know what happened, but I thought it was important enough or informative enough that I would come back out here this afternoon and do the whole thing all over again. So it's very repetitious for me, but it's all new for you. So right now, I'm in the Suffolk lamb group. This is the group that was born first. So our first lamb was born, I believe, January 14th. And it is April 17th right now, I think. I never know what day it is. It's very confusing, especially when you're busy and when you're doing videos that are backlogged for like a week or 10 days. Gets confusing. But the date is irrelevant because all our videos go up in order, in sequence, the way that they happen on our farm. So if you just watch our videos in ascending or descending order, they will be in the correct order all the time. But I digress. What we're looking at here is these lambs squishing through like the creep gates. And as you saw, if you watched yesterday's video where we had some really heavy lambs, a lot of our lambs are definitely market ready. And this year, it seems like around the world, lamb prices are extremely high. And it makes sense because all the input costs are extremely high. So probably, comparatively, they're probably the same, but it just sounds a lot higher because in the past it was unheard of to get $5.50 a pound for lambs, and that's in dollars, but that's what the lambs are going for now. So a lot of people are sending lambs younger than normal because the younger they are, the more they get per pound. However, because there's less weight there, it doesn't always mean that you come home with more money. Like if you had a 50-pound lamb that got $5 a pound, say, you would come home with $250 for that lamb. If you waited till it was 100 pounds and it was $4.50 a pound, because the price goes down a little bit, probably not that low, but for example, you would now get $450 for that same lamb. So because our lambs grow so fast at a pound and more a day, our ewes are not fully weaned at that point, meaning that they're still producing an awful lot of milk. And when you pull your lambs off your mom who is producing a lot of milk still, you're going to run into things like mastitis in the ewes. Yes, you'll be getting rid of those lambs earlier, and you'll be getting your money quicker and won't have to feed them or look after them. But the ewes can be an issue if you have heavy milking ewes, and our Suffolks and Dorsets are heavy milkers. You cannot produce a lamb that gains a pound or more a day without having a heavy milker. So that's why we've switched the ewes in the first group of lambs down to first cut hay and no grain, because now their nutrition is going to be a little bit less, which will make her struggle to produce milk on a less nutritious diet. And the lambs are still nursing off of her. So if you've got twin lambs and you're not getting your optimum nutrition, they're still getting nutrition to help them survive and do well. Don't get me wrong there, we're not making our ewes suffer. But because it is less rich, they are gonna slow down on their milk, and as they slow down on their milk, the lambs nursing off them will start to dry them up. So usually within a few weeks of switching the feed and leaving the lambs on, the lambs that are very big and greedy and want a lot of milk, these ewes are gonna dry up much more thoroughly, and we won't run into mastitis issues with the ewes nearly as much as if we pulled them now. So that is one reason we don't like to pull the lambs off too early, because I checked the dates, like these lambs are really big, and it's misleading. You think that they're really old lambs, but the majority of the lambs in this pen are 60 to 70 days old only, and we normally wean at 100 pounds or 100 days. So we have some lambs over 100 pounds right now, but the majority are probably in that 80-pound range. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the numbers. We're going to leave the ewes here with the lambs, really help dry the ewes off so that they can have a happy and comfortable weaning with no health issues. And approximately 2 weeks from now, we are going to pull the mums off. And at £1 a day, 2 weeks will put the majority of these lambs in that 100-pound range. Some will be heavier, like this guy, because we know he's already heavier. But what you also have to realize is that we're selling breeding stock. And as such, we treat them a little differently. A lot of people who are weaning their lambs off at, say, the 90 to 110 pound size, their lambs took maybe 6 months to get to that weight. And in 6 months, you can judge a lamb much more accurately than at 3 months. And that's the problem for us, because we want to hold back the very best rams and ewes for ourselves and for our customers. And in order to do that, we have to have a little bit of age on them, because as they're growing, as we've mentioned in so many videos, they can change. And even when we have our keepers chosen, at about 6 months, we go back in and go through them again, and we will weed out any who have fallen apart in that time. And we go back again at a year old as well. And the same thing, any that have fallen apart, we will not be keeping. So breeding stock is a whole other, a whole other scenario, because technically all of these lambs in here are market ready. they're all in good shape, and the prices are really high, and we would have no problem making a lot of money off these lambs this year. But we have the ewe issue, moms with a lot of milk. We've got the issue of choosing a lamb that is the best possible replacement animal for ourselves and others, and it's very difficult to choose when they're so young. But because we are selling breeding rams to people, people are coming to us to cross onto their commercial ewes or to put on their purebred ewes for one main reason, and that is, well, really two main reasons, but they want fast growing lambs so that they can get their lambs to market quicker, because the quicker you get your lamb to market, the less health issues, disasters, and less you have to feed those lambs. So the quicker the better when you're marketing lambs off. And if you're buying them for replacement stock and you want to select for those ones that grow the quickest, then it's those big ones you'll be keeping and searching out. And from those big ones, you will choose the ones who are conformationally correct and correct in breed characteristics and everything too. And that's why you will pay more for breeding stock lambs than you will for market lambs, because we have to hold them longer, take the gamble that they're going to grow well, and we have to feed them and stuff like that. But in the long run, our customers are going to get a much, much better product because we can more accurately predict how fast these sheep are going to grow, because we have the proof, and we will be providing them with a more correct and perfect specimen that will improve their flock, or our flock, because improvement of your flock is the whole goal. So whereas if you watch farmers who have commercial sheep, they'll be sorting out all the biggest ones to go to market first. The reason they're doing that is they're not keeping those lambs, and they're the heaviest, so of course they're going to send them first. And it's the opposite here. When you're searching for breeding stock, you're searching for those faster growers because you want to pass that on to the offspring so that they will pass it on to the other flocks, if you know what I mean. Fast growth is a characteristic we want to pass on. For a commercial breeder, the fast growers have the meat ready to go quicker, so they're gonna send them to market right away. So it's kind of like the theory we had when we were breeding our Dorsets out of season. We didn't use cedars or hormones when we were breeding our Dorsets out of season, because as a breed, these Dorsets should naturally breed out of season. And if I'm going to say my Dorsets breed out of season, because not all of them do, I need proof that they breed out of season. So I'm going to be selecting from ewes that breed out of season, so that there's more likelihood of their lambs breeding out of season. That's the theory, and that's also the theory for Suffolks, which are touted to be the fastest growers. There's no point selling somebody a Suffolk ram that was the smallest in the group that took 6 months to reach his weight when fast growth is the trait you're looking for. You need to be searching for lambs that did it on their own and hit that 100 pounds at 100 days or less. And we have some Dorset rams who are just excelling this year as well. Look at this guy. He's a bruiser. You are a bruiser. And this guy, even though he's a lot shorter than our Suffolks, he's weighing in really heavy. And a lot of these Dorsets are tipping the scales at a pound a day growth rate as well. And we did switch to the Australian and New Zealand bloodlines, which definitely make them faster growers and heavier lambs. Hi, we were talking about you because you're a little bruiser. So the Dorset group in this barn are the same age as the Suffolk group. They everyone in this barn lambed mid-January to mid-February. And if we look at the udders on the ewes, they're eating first cut dry hay now, no grain, but all of them have really, really good udders still. They're still milking. We will show you in 2 weeks from now what their udders look like. But if we were to take, we were gonna wean the lambs today. And I got my books out and did the ages and stuff to figure it out because you can never remember. And then I looked at the udders, and if we were to take the lambs out today, even though the lambs look great, the moms would definitely suffer because these girls are milking. They're milking quite heavy still. Their bags are not as hard and pumped up as they were a month ago, but they are far, far from being dried up. And that's a killer for ewes. If ewes get mastitis, it's not only extremely painful, but it can also be life-threatening. It can destroy their udder and their career as a ewe on your farm, which means they end up getting culled. They can't nurse their lambs next year. They'll be missing half an udder. And here's Angel. And I gotta tell you something funny. Hi, Angel. This morning I came in here and did the same video, the same spiel, not in the same order, but basically the same thing. And as I was doing it, Angel did the exact same thing. Didn't you, honey? She saw me here and she thought she'd come and do a photo shoot and say, I'm not quite ready to wean my lambs yet. I got a lot of milk and I'm still loving my lambs. In a few weeks, I'm probably going to be really sick and tired of them. And then it's time for them to go, right? Yes, it is. And the moms will start kicking the lambs off once they want to be weaned. Okay, Arnie has to cause general havoc when I'm trying to do a talk. As boring as it may be. But I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he's rolling up the curtains. But it's hard to tell on camera, but there's an awful bunch of wee ones in here. And we really don't want the little wee ones being weaned too early. When you wean them too early, it sets them back. And again, if you're producing breeding stock, you don't want any setbacks in their growth. You want to wait till the very, very last moment before you start weaning them. Because returning from a setback is never a good thing. What are you doing? I think they want out. And here's Looney. She concurs that she doesn't want to get rid of her lambs just yet. Hi, sweetheart. Arnie's causing havoc on the other side. I don't know what he's doing. Hi. Oh, Looney, are you pretty relaxed? Looney's udder actually is one of the ones that is starting to dry up now. And Looney had twin lambs this year. It was her first lambing. Hello. How you doing? Did you come to say hello? I find once the adult ewes are, oh my goodness, are used to having all their lambs kind of being more independent, the ewes start to become friendly again. When they're focused on their lambs, they're less likely to interact with you. But once things have settled down, they are back to their normal selves. Hi. Hi, Thelma. Hi. Oh my goodness. All the regulars. All the regulars. Thelma had twins this year too? Didn't you? Yeah, you did. You did. And Thelma is a cross. You're a sweetheart. And Looney's a cross. Seems like all my favorites are crosses. Even Angel. Oh my goodness. Hi there, Louise. How you doing? How you doing? We haven't seen you for a while. You're just a darling. You're a darling. So Looney's got a little bit of tunis in her. Not too much, but that's where she gets the little brown tints on her face from. And both her little ewe lambs have it too on their legs. Oh my goodness, you're so calm. Yeah, oh dear, you are special. Look at her. You're precious. Look at that face. Hi there, Angel, it's you again. You are a sweetheart too. Angel is a Dorset Texel cross. And we haven't had a Texel around for, I don't know, 7 years. Hi, sweetheart. Oh my goodness, you too. You too. Oh, you got quite the deal going there. You do. Quite the deal. So, anyway, that's all I was going to say about weaning, because I'm sure a lot of people look at our lambs being so heavy and they're going to say, oh my God, they are going to be losing money on those lambs. What on earth are they doing? Why aren't they getting them to market? And that's the reason. It is a gamble. We can get guaranteed money sending them to market now. But if we want to stay in the breeding stock business, we really need to wait and hang on to them a little longer. It's the hard part of the breeding stock business, and then it's getting your customers. On a year where prices are really sky high, are people going to want to buy more sheep, or are they going to want to buy less? My theory is they're probably going to want to buy more, because they see prices going up, and they just made an awful lot of money at the sales barn selling their lambs, and you would think that's the time to market off your lambs and to get in some fresh blood and some good quality stock, even at higher prices, because you know you're going to make it back. But we'll see. It's a gamble. Breeding stock is a gamble, and you have to deal with people. It's not like you just put them on a truck and send them to market and they go through a ring and that's the price you get. Now you have to deal with prices and people and negotiating and wheeling and dealing, and it can be traumatic. Can't it, Looney? It can be a trauma dealing with people. Animals are so much easier to deal with. Angel, come here. Get in the picture too. Come here. There we go. There's two of them. Both chewing their cud. If a sheep is chewing their cud around you while you're petting them and stuff, they are very relaxed. No stress. Hi, I can see you back there too. Oh dear, you're special too. Hi. Hi there. And this number 5, she's a chunky monkey. This is going to be ending. She's going to end up staying as one of our keeper lambs. I've been watching her since day 1. Hi, buddies. We're in a good situation too with the feed for our sheep, because keeping them longer doesn't cost us a lot more. We grow all our own feed, our hay, and our creep feed mixture. All the ingredients come from our own farm, and that makes the feed easily half the cost of if you have to buy it in. Another thing that's been happening all day long here is the owner of our wrapped hay has been coming in back and forth to pick up loads of hay. He had 200 bales to take away, so it's been a long process, but this is his 3rd trip here today, and he's taking it an hour away, so you can see that it would be a long process, and he's only getting 21 bales per load. But the pile is quickly disappearing anyway, which frees up space for us to work in the yard and to get prepared for haying season, which, if these temperatures do eventually warm up, which you can see I'm still wearing winter jacket, and it's, like I say, April 17th. We'll be getting onto the fields soon, but nothing grows in these temperatures. And when Arnie's done loading the hay onto that guy's wagon, he's back in this debris field where the lambs like to play, and he's slowly but surely removing those old bad bales and bringing them back to the bush, where they will be composted down and added back into the environment. A lot of extra work. Hopefully next year's hay season will be stellar and we'll have stellar results, but we've been talking to a lot of people and they're all saying the same thing, that stellar results are really hard to come by with hay. And now that the curtain's down, it's siesta time on the farm. These are the rams. And they're all laying down, just chilling. Well, a few are standing up now that I walked here. Hi, Glad. Hi, honey. It's hard to see you through the mesh. There you go. You're a good boy, aren't you? You're really nice too. This is one of our yearling rams that we're going to use next year, of our own breeding, this Dorset. It's a nice fellow. And Felon is still here. And he's eating and stuff. He's just really looking his age. He's not holding his age nearly as well as Gladiator, who looks fabulous. Glad, you look fabulous. There, now we can see them without the mesh. Of course, they're all up now. Why did you guys all get up? One load of hay left the farm. This load of hay is going to the back of our farm. It looks like summer. I snuck back over here so we could see them laying down. That's Monty splayed out in the middle of the pen there. Siesta time. That's another new ram we're going to be using this year, one of our own rams. He's grown on really, really well. You're a beauty, aren't you? Yes. I believe that one's a Hilton son. I don't know if the camera's picking up the sound, but I'd say they definitely have babies in there. And they've been making use of the baler twine too. Well, we're going to call that a day. If you enjoyed your time with us and found any of my information a little bit informative and would like to hear more of it, please be sure to give us a like and subscribe down below. And be sure to press the little bell button when you subscribe, because that will tell you when all my videos are being posted. But if you can't be bothered doing that, we do air every weekday for our long format videos at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And we do have videos. I think some people may not realize that, but we have shorts, or the Wandering Shepherds videos will be starting too. And you can watch those on the weekend, just in case you haven't had enough of us. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.